Life has this strange way of bringing people together at the right moment. Sometimes we don't even see it coming. We're just walking our path, trying to heal, trying to grow. And then suddenly, there's this feeling, this quiet hope that somewhere out there, someone is walking toward us too. So, to my future wife, wherever you are right now, this is for you. I'm not here to promise perfection. I'm not here to pretend I have life all figured out. But I am here to promise that I'm learning every single day to become a man worthy of the love we'll share. And in this moment, as I speak these words, I want you to know you're already inspiring me, even before we meet, even before we speak. Your presence in my future gives my present a purpose. This isn't just a letter, it's a reminder that love isn't something we chase, it's something we grow into. And I'm growing. For you, my future wife, wherever you are right now, I want you to know that these words come from a place that has been shaped by quiet moments, long nights of thinking, and a heart that has been learning how to love with more honesty than ever before. I don't know your face yet, not the exact sound of your laugh, not the way your eyes soften when you're tired or brighten when something inspires you, but I know the feeling of you. I know the space inside me that is making room for you. And tonight, as I speak these words, I speak them with the kind of sincerity that rises when the soul remembers it was built to love someone deeply, patiently, and without fear. I imagine you somewhere in your own world right now, living your own stories, facing your own challenges, healing from your own past, building your own dreams, and maybe even wondering who will someday hold your heart with the softness and respect it deserves. And I want you to know, gently, quietly, that I'm trying to become that person. I'm trying to grow into a man who loves without ego, listens without judgment, and stays without hesitation. A man who understands that partnership is not about perfection, but about presence, about showing up even when life feels heavy, about holding a space where your spirit feels safe to breathe, to rest, to unfold. There were times in my life when love felt like a distant shore, a place I could see but never quite reach. I wanted it, but I didn't know how to walk toward it without carrying the weight of old wounds. I didn't know how to offer my heart without fearing it might break again. But somewhere along the way, something softened in me. I realized that loving is not about avoiding pain, it's about choosing someone who makes the journey worth every step. And the thought of you, even now, even before we meet, has given me a sense of direction, a sense of purpose, a feeling that my days are not just days anymore, but preparation for something sacred. I want to tell you what I've been learning, not because I want to impress you, but because I want you to know that I'm doing my best to arrive in your life as a man who understands the responsibility of loving someone's soul. I've been learning that love is not loud. It doesn't need to shout or demand attention. It's quiet in the most beautiful way. It's in the small gestures, the gentle words, the silent understanding that says, I'm here and I'm not going anywhere. I've been learning that love doesn't need to rush. It grows in its own time, like dawn rising slowly over the horizon. I've been learning that communication is not just speaking, it's choosing words that build trust, that soothe worries, that open doors instead of closing them. I've been learning that vulnerability is not weakness, it's the courage to let someone see you, truly see you, without hiding the cracks. And I've been learning to embrace those cracks because they are where the light gets in, where compassion grows, where softness is born. I imagine a version of me who will stand beside you someday, and I hope he's someone you can lean on. Someone whose presence makes you feel grounded when the world feels unsteady. Someone who protects your peace, not your doubts. Someone who doesn't just love who you are, but who you're becoming. I wonder about the little things, how you take your tea or coffee, the music you play when you need comfort, the kind of books you keep by your bedside, the things that make you smile without thinking. I wonder about the things that hurt you in the past, the promises that were broken, the moments that made you question your worth. And I want you to know that with me, your heart will never have to tiptoe. Your feelings will never be too much. Your fears will never be dismissed. Your dreams will never be minimized. I will be someone who notices you, not just your presence, but your essence. My future wife, I want you to know that I'm not expecting you to be perfect. I don't want the polished version of you that the world demands. I want the real you, the one who laughs when something truly touches your heart, the one who cries when life feels overwhelming, the one who sometimes doesn't have everything figured out. I want the you who tries, who grows, who keeps moving forward even when the road feels uncertain. I want the you who has learned to rise after every fall, who has stitched her heart back together with strength and tenderness. That woman, the one shaped by her experiences, her resilience, her hope. That's the woman I want to love. I hope you know that when you come into my life, I'll welcome not just your joys, but your shadows, your doubts, your quiet moments, your unspoken fears. I won't pretend to have all the answers, but I promise to stand beside you as you search for them. I won't pretend that love is always easy, but I promise that with me, it will always be sincere. There will be days when we misunderstand each other, when life feels messy and complex. But even in those moments, I want our love to be the place we return to, not the place we escape from. I want us to be partners, not just in romance, but in life, in growth, in healing, in becoming. I want to be the kind of man who supports your independence, but is also honored when you lean on me. I want us to be two whole souls who choose each other every day, not out of need, but out of recognition. Recognition that our paths were always meant to meet, that our lives were always meant to intertwine. Sometimes I imagine the first moment I see you. I imagine how it feels when something inside me quietly whispers, there you are. Not in a dramatic, movie like way, but in the soft, certain way the heart recognizes something it has been waiting for. I imagine the conversations we'll have, the ones filled with laughter, the ones filled with deep honesty, the ones that stretch late into the night because we simply don't want the moment to end. I imagine the way your hand will feel in mine, the kind of comfort that DOSN need words. I want to build a life with you that feels like a sanctuary, a place where you can show up without masks, where you can speak without fear of being misunderstood, where you can rest knowing that you're valued, cherished, respected. I want us to build traditions, big ones, small ones, silly ones, that become the heartbeat of our shared life. Maybe it's cooking together on Sundays, or evening walks when the world feels quieter, or reading side by side, or traveling to places that remind us how beautiful the world can be. Maybe it's simply sitting in silence, knowing that love doesn't always require sound. I want to learn your language, not just the one you speak with words, but the one you speak with your eyes, your posture, your pauses, your breathing. I want to know what makes you nervous, what makes you excited, what makes you feel alive. I want to understand the rhythm of your spirit so I can love you in the way you deserve to be loved. I don't know what storms you've been through, but I want you to know that I'm preparing myself to be your shelter. I don't know what dreams you hold close to your heart, but I want to be the person who helps protect them, nurture them, celebrate them. I don't know what moments shaped you, but I want to be the one who honors every part of your journey, the bright parts and the painful ones, because they all led you toward the life we will someday share. I want to give you a love that feels like coming home, a love that is steady, patient, and kind, a love that doesn't ask you to shrink, compromise your joy, or silence your truth, a love that amplifies who you are instead of overshadowing it, a love that deepens with time. My future wife, I hope you know that you're not waiting alone. I'm here, growing, learning, preparing my heart, shaping my life in ways that will make space for you. Every day, I'm trying to become a better man, not because I want to earn your love, but because I want to honor it when it arrives. I want to meet you as someone who has done the inner work, who has faced his own shadows, who has learned how to forgive, how to be gentle, how to be present. I hope you're taking care of yourself. I hope you're being kind to your heart. I hope you're surrounding yourself with people who remind you of your worth. And if life ever feels heavy for you, I hope you remember that somewhere out there, someone is thinking of you with a tenderness you haven't met yet. Someone is looking forward to the day he gets to tell you that your happiness matters more to him than you'll ever know. My love, my future wife. There's something quiet inside me that has been waiting to speak to you. Something warm, steady, and honest. Something that feels like it has been growing long before I even found the words to express it. When I think about you, even without knowing your face, your voice, your routines, or the rhythm of your life, I feel this almost spiritual sense of connection, as if the universe wrote your name into my heart long before I knew how to read it. And tonight, I'm speaking to you from that place, a place of tenderness, patience, and a love still unfolding. You may be somewhere right now not even thinking about me. Maybe you're focused on your life, your responsibilities, your dreams, your healing. Maybe you're surrounded by people who care for you. Or maybe you're having one of those quiet moments where you feel a little alone, even when others are around. Maybe you're building yourself into a stronger version of who you once were. Maybe you're learning how to love yourself again after someone failed to show you the love you deserved. Wherever you are, whatever your world looks like, I want this moment to find you gently. I want these words to remind you that you are seen, even from a distance, that you are valued even before we meet, that you are cherished in ways you cannot yet imagine. I think about the life you've lived so far, the joys you've celebrated, the challenges you've endured, the memories that still warm you. and the ones that still ache. I don't know the details, but I know you've walked through days that tested your strength, moments that made you question your path, times when you wondered if love would ever show up for you in the way you've always quietly hoped. And I want you to know that everything you've gone through has shaped you into someone extraordinary, someone strong, someone compassionate, someone whose presence will one day transform my life in all the best ways. When I imagine our future together, I don't see perfection. I don't see a flawless partnership where everything magically aligns without effort. I see something real, two souls choosing each other every day, two people learning one another's rhythms, two hearts creating a space where love is not forced, not rushed, but naturally grown through small moments of honesty, respect, and understanding. I see a life built not on grand gestures, but on quiet consistency. The kind of love that sits with you when you're tired, listens to you when you're overwhelmed, and encourages you when you forget just how incredible you truly are. I imagine waking up beside you someday, not because it's some romantic fantasy, but because it feels like a privilege. The privilege of witnessing your sleepy smile, the soft sound of your breath, the warmth of your presence beside me. I imagine learning all the gentle details about you, the way you stir your drink, the way you laugh without holding back, the way your eyes shimmer when you talk about something you love. I imagine the version of you that the world doesn't always get to see, the tender parts, the vulnerable parts, the parts you guard carefully. And I want to be the one you trust enough to share them with. I've spent a long time thinking about what it means to love someone deeply. And one thing I've learned is that love is not about possession, control, or expectation. It's about freedom. It's about choosing someone while also allowing them to be fully themselves. I want you to feel free with me, free to express your thoughts, free to explore your dreams, free to speak your truth without fear of judgment. I want you to know that your voice will always matter to me. Your emotions will always be valid. Your boundaries will always be respected. Your well being will always be a priority. You deserve a love that doesn't make you shrink, dim your light, or question your worth. You deserve a love that expands with you, grows with you, celebrates with you. And I want to be that love, the kind that brings peace instead of chaos, clarity instead of uncertainty. I want to be the person who reminds you every day that you are more than enough just as you are. Sometimes I wonder what your evenings look like. Maybe you curl up with a book, or maybe you listen to music that speaks to your soul. Maybe you're working late, chasing a goal that only you truly understand. Maybe you're laughing with friends, or sitting quietly with your thoughts. Whatever you're doing, I hope you're taking care of yourself. I hope you're speaking to yourself gently, treating yourself with the same kindness you so effortlessly offer others. And if life ever feels heavy, I want you to remember that somewhere in the world, someone is already loving the idea of you. Someone is already preparing himself to meet you with open arms and an open heart. I've been growing too. I've been learning how to be a better man, not out of pressure, not out of fear, but out of genuine desire. Because I know that when you walk into my life, you deserve someone who has done the work. Someone who has learned from his mistakes, confronted his shadows, and cultivated the kind of emotional maturity that turns love into something safe, steady, and enduring. I want to offer you a love that feels like a sanctuary, a place where your heart can finally exhale. I've been learning how to listen more deeply, how to understand the feelings behind the words, how to sit with discomfort instead of avoiding it, how to communicate with clarity, not defensiveness, how to express affection without hesitation, how to hold someone's heart with both strength and gentleness. I've been learning that loving someone means showing up, not only in the beautiful moments, but in the complicated ones too. And I want you to know that when you come into my life, I will show up for you every day. In every season, I imagine us building a partnership grounded in honesty, the kind of relationship where we can talk about anything, our dreams, our fears, our disappointments, our desires. A relationship where misunderstandings aren't battles, but conversations. Where we don't assume the worst, but instead seek to understand. Where apologies aren't rare, but natural. Where forgiveness flows not from obligation, but from love. I want to know how your mind works. What inspires you, what frustrates you, what motivates you, what scares you. I want to know your history, your values, your quirks, your beliefs. I want to know the stories that shaped you, the people who influenced you, and the experiences that changed your heart. Not because I need to own those parts of you, but because I want to honor them. I imagine us creating routines together, little rituals that belong only to us. Maybe it's sharing a slow morning on weekends, or taking late night walks when the world feels softer. Maybe it's cooking together, laughing when the recipe goes wrong, or celebrating when it turns out just right. Maybe it's having deep conversations at random moments, or sitting in comfortable silence while each of us does our own thing. I don't need memorized perfection. I want shared presence. I want moments that feel like home. I imagine the hard days too, the ones when life overwhelms us, when stress weighs heavy, when we don't have the energy to be strong. And in those moments, I want you to feel my support like a steady hand on your back. I want you to know that you don't have to carry everything alone. I want us to be able to lean on each other, not because we're weak, but because partnership means sharing the weight. I want us to move through challenges as a team, not with blame, but with unity. I hope you know that I'm not looking for someone to complete me. I'm looking for someone to walk beside me. Someone who has her own dreams, her own passions, her own purpose. I don't want you to lose yourself in our love. I want our love to help you find even more of yourself. I want us to inspire each other, push each other, learn from each other, and grow together. I think about the quiet nights we will share, the ones where we just talk about life, or watch the sky, or listen to music while wrapped in a moment that feels timeless. I think about the comfort of sitting close to you, holding your hand, feeling the warmth of your presence. I think about how beautiful it will be to share a life with someone whose soul feels familiar even if we haven't met yet. I wonder if you've prayed for someone like me, or wished for someone who understands you deeply, someone who doesn't fear commitment, someone who doesn't play games, someone who values loyalty, consistency, softness, strength. If you have, I want you to know that your prayers are traveling toward me, just as mine are traveling toward you. Our timelines might not have crossed yet, but they are moving toward each other, slowly, steadily, inevitably. My future wife, I want you to know that I'm not searching for a perfect woman.